again with another episode of Eat This, Drink That with Ali Khan, Steve Greer, and I'm
Give
Ryan
us the
Crosby. And we're
drink.
going to get on to some special drinks with Steve today. So, Steve, what is your drink that for today?
This is going to be fun. For the next 4 weeks, we're going to dive into tiki drinks. So tiki, there's a whole culture to this. So we're not really going to go too heavy into the lifestyle of tiki culture. I thought I had old school tiki mugs.
He's already broken like 3 campaign promises. We're going to take a big dive, but we're not going to go that deep.
Yeah.
By the way, the coolest thing about this freaking scam of a drink, because basically you're lured into the bar and you're lured into the name, and then like you're drinking out of a monkey's head.
Yeah.
Probably the coolest part. And then let's be honest, what happens next? You don't know what the hell happened. You got so freaking hit.
Yes.
Right.
And you never saw it cut.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, kind of tastes like coconut. And then you're like, how did I get home? Like, that is my experience going to a tiki bar. It's shocking. It's shocking what it does to me. It's true.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So there'll be some little tidbits of... There's going to be tidbits throughout all these episodes. We're not going to have bathtub-sized drinking vessels.
That's the other thing, too. It is like...
Just like your... Yeah, we're not having that.
It's like, oh, look, everyone. Everyone's laughing. Look, he's going to drink a watermelon worth of rum.
There's no... what we're pouring into most of these cocktails... Yeah. What we're pouring in a lot of alcohol into these cocktails. So there's really no reason to also make this cocktail a 24-ounce cocktail. You're already getting plenty of spirit. So we're going to use Collins glass today. And out of the gate, we're going to throw you for a loop. We're going to do a Singapore Sling. So not rum-based.
Yes.
But you immediately think of tiki. So, by the way, tiki was created by Don the Beachcomber in Los Angeles, early 30s, maybe 1930. Then, in good form of San Francisco people thinking they're better, this guy formed Trader Vic's in Oakland.
Wow.
And he said it's it's Don's restaurant, but better. So he just basically copied it, moved it to Oakland.
Nice.
Trader Vic's was like they're almost taking some of the Polynesian culture along the ride, but they don't use Polynesian drinks or rum, Caribbean. A lot of the flavors are Caribbean. So it's a weird mix. It's Caribbean ingredients with Polynesian culture done in LA and then also moved to Oakland.
Isn't the food semi-Chinese?
And the 30s and then post-war.
I kind of know of this stuff because years ago I was working on a show for Alton Brown, and he wanted to talk about food and history, and he wanted to do the episodes based on like just iconic food products that shaped America, right? And one was about rum, and rum was way back in the day, like honestly. Rum, sugar, and slaves were part of how America basically grew in the colonial days, right? So rum was linked to the slave trade, all this stuff. So rum was like super valuable. It was the booze. Like I think all the founding fathers sucking on that rum, and it was just a real trip. It's historical significance. And then I was like, then I stumbled into the Trader Vic's thing. And what really got me beyond like the everything looks like a Gilligan's Island episode is the food was like they basically took Chinese food and they were like, let's add a little coconut, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like they were just like, okay, like here's some cornstarch and chicken and a little honey and soy sauce and hoisin. Cool, now let's give it a little island, and I'm talking like a Jamaican, like a bad Jamaican accent, but that the cuisine is like they just like came up with stuff. It would be like the equivalent of like a food truck. Oh yeah, I got a theme for a food truck. It's like not quite. It's like weird fusion. Yeah. Anyways, I'm done. And ultimately, it is probably that
is
is
very
the perfect
American,
answer,
right?
isn't
You
it?
just
It's
fuse a
like,
bunch
and
of
because
stuff
you
together.
picture
And,
like
Yes.
Don Draper in Mad Men, like having these crazy rum drinks and being like, "Ooh, look at this exotic food! It's like fried chicken soaked in honey
Yes.
or whatever, mayo." Which actually sounds kind of oddly good in a way. And the brownie,
yeah.
Well, tiki really took off
Stick a
after
little umbrella in it and just say it's tiki.
Yeah. Tiki really took off after all the World War II guys came back from the Pacific, and that really fueled everything exploding. Yeah. Wasn't it an Elvis movie in the 60s or late 50s, Blue
Yeah, fair enough.
Hawaii, where that whole culture really
Oh, yeah.
exploded and became mainstream? I'm sure we could do an entire episode on taking somebody's culture and creating it and making it their own. Tiki drinks are really in that realm, but we're going to simplify this. This is about having fun, using tropical flavors, using
This is
rum,
the
in this case,
anti-gimmick
gin,
rum drink.
and we're just going to make really fun cocktails. There's some things that I like to always think of. Yeah, exactly. And we're going to watch sugar throughout this. We're going to make sure a lot of our ingredients don't have extra sugar because there's already a lot of sugar in what you think of tiki drinks. So it's themed fresh ingredients or lower sugar liqueurs and really high quality rum or gin in this case with the Singapore Sling. This, interesting enough, out of all the tiki drinks I chose, this is the second oldest drink. So this is pre Don the Beachcomber. This is 1915 in Singapore, where it's already really, really hot at a hotel in Singapore, and most likely a part of the British colonization of that whole part of the world. Gin based. Sling was is really just a cocktail that is sugar and water, spirit, usually gin, and a sweetener. It's named after the German word that I'm not going to even try to pronounce that means to swallow or savor. So that's where Sling comes from. And this is really just like a tropical version of a gin sling. And most of those slings were punch bowls. Like this was your punch. You put sugar, you put water, you put gin, you put a sweetener, and your party just sat around and got pretty ripped.
Well,
I'm not using Navy
strength
strength on this. This is not high proof gin. I'm using.
What's that proof?
You can get up to 57% alcohol on. This is 40, by the way. What is that? 114?
Sounds like 104.
Yeah, just double.
Yeah,
This is I love St. George. We've made this with other cocktails on this show.
Yeah.
This is 40, 45 actually. We don't have to go Navy strength on. So Navy strength can be a gin or a rum. It's just higher proof. It's not cut. We're already having plenty of alcohol in this. So in a sling, the Singapore Sling is gin.
Or whatever.
If you remember Benedictine, one of the weird
your monk's
herbal liqueurs.
Cilantro. I got like 9 bottles of that stuff. Good to know.
Gin.
Monk juice.
Monk juice. Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit more about that too, and then something you might not be used to using. Sadly, I couldn't find the one I really wanted. There's a higher end cherry brandy
and yet another
or cherry liqueur that I was going to use.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God.
Cherry liqueur.
But the best part about this is a little half pinter. You don't have to buy a full bottle.
And another pair, orange
we're
bitters.
going
Can I use
tropical
orange bitters,
with our
please?
bitters.
I just
so
have
Angostura is a common theme. No. So Angostura is from Trinidad. So this is a Caribbean bitter component. That's why it's almost used in every tiki drink. and then we're going to top it with a little club soda, just as a refresher. I tried to shop for this like anybody would just be out in the market going to a regular grocery store or a Whole Foods. I didn't try to go find hard to find ingredients over the top. Cherry liqueurs and cherry brandies are at every liquor store, just might not be the highest quality. This is just club soda from. I tried to find Fever Tree. That's the one I usually use. Soda? It was out.
Oh my god!
Club soda is usually
just like.
So let's dive in.
I just assumed it was across the board cheap. I mean, Topo Chico's a water people love here. I don't know if that does that count as club soda.
Yeah.
Topo Chico's good. Yeah.
Here's the thing, Bobby.
Sparkling mineral
water. All the same to me.
Yeah, that's sparkling mineral water.
I think. Yeah.
But we could have a whole episode on water, and all the different versions of this stuff.
Okay.
We're just doing club soda. It's like it cleans up the flavor profile, adds a little bit of effervescence to the cocktail. Okay. It lifts everything. That's the only reason we're using it in the cocktail. That's why it's in the cocktail. So let's go back to our ice. I'm going to prep two things. We are shaking this. So I got a shaker cube. I'm going into my tin, and then I'm going to prep my Collins glass.
To prep the glass, huh?
And I'm just using little ice cubes for this.
Okay.
No. Well, yeah, I do want everything a little cool. But yeah, I'm just using little ice cubes for this. I'm not using big rocks glass.
Let's see the ice. Can we get a visual of the ice?
Oh yeah, just a little guy. Just a little guy.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, just a regular ice cube tray. It's quality water. I didn't just put tap water in there, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's not crappy. It's not crappy ice.
I saw it.
It's just not crystal clear ice.
Oh, yeah, a little cloudy.
So
Denver water.
Little cloud.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going 3/4 ounce of gin. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. So St. George is the gin I'm using. Yep, we're going 3/4 ounce. This is going to be, there's 4 items in this that have alcohol, but this is going to be the least high proof of all the cocktails we make over the next 4 weeks. Because there's only one spirit. The rest are all liqueurs. So Benedictine, cherry liqueur, and Cointreau are all 1/4 ounce. That's it. You can do 2 things. You might have a measuring vessel that can go down to 1/4 ounce, or you can just do half teaspoons and do 3. It's 1.5 teaspoons is 1/4 ounce.
Yeah.
So let's do that. Yeah, it'll be a little easier for people to measure. Yeah. So Benedictine, 1/4 ounce. So I'm going to do 3 little half teaspoons.
Do you spill a little extra in there? I wish we had a better visual of you, Steve.
I know. I wish I had the overhead
I don't know if
cam.
you can tilt your camera down.
Yeah, the overhead cam would be nice, but I don't have that.
Yeah.
I need a studio
audience. All right.
I need a studio audience. That's going to be our next venture. Then Cointreau. We're also 3 of these, 1/4 ounce. And yes, Ryan, good point. If you spill a little bit more, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not going to be spilling in a whole another 1/4 ounce. And then cherry liqueur.
Is that cheap? Is that like the cheap
This
stuff?
is what I could find in
your
town.
Whole disclaimer,
I was looking for
I just wanted to go where anyone
a little
but that
nice.
stuff looks like it's like dodgy. You know,
it's not.
Is it good stuff?
It's not super cheap, but it's not super cheap.
So
it's not.
What's the price difference?
With a whole lot of sugar.
Interesting. Ultimately,
but it's not
giving us a huge insight to. That'd be a great post. Like building your own bar and like the things you need beyond like I got whiskey, I got gin, I got vodka, or whatever. What's the price range of a cherry brandy? Because let's be honest, a teaspoon and a half means that sucker is going to be sitting around for a bit. Maybe it's not a bad idea to get a better version. You know what I mean? How much does that cost?
Yep. Hey, pause real quick. I did forget one other ingredient. So let's do a pause, and then you can clip this.
You know what's crazy? Look at that.
Sorry.
Now I'm kind of scared of the box that's in. What is in that? You know what I mean? Dude, what's in that box? Like a relative?
I totally forgot.
For a second, I was like, and just a little.
Cigars.
This is Mildred.
Cigars.
Just a little.
Oh, cigars.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That was going to be something with hair.
So, if you want to talk about ingredients, I could have gone up to $40 for
ain't looking so
this
bad.
cherry
$40,
liqueur brandy that I wanted. And I'm wow. Bingo. So now we got to do our juices. So I have fresh pineapple juice, 1 ounce. Yeah, we're no longer in the realm of 3 ingredient cocktails. This is pineapple.
Where do you buy that?
Yep. Pineapple,
fresh
1
pineapple
ounce.
Juice.
And then 1/2 ounce of lime juice. I got this at a juice store. They just juiced up some pineapple for me.
I have done that. I mean, let's be real.
Fresh.
I remember it was when I don't know if it was New Year's, but I was like, oh, let's do mimosas, and we went to the juice place and bought OJ. It was like $18. I'm like, we could just go out at the bar. You know, I was like, the juicers are just for juice.
Yeah.
Right. Enough. This is insane, though. 4 alcohols, and then now he went
tiki
to
drinks are $20
to get pineapple juice.
Yeah,
that ain't dull, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Angostura. Yep. No. And you know why I do that? I'm trying to eliminate all the extra sugar.
Bang. That's what's up.
Store bought that canned pineapple juice
is like why I'm like, I don't know how I got home.
Yeah. There's sugar in there. Yeah, and you're shaking. That's the extra sugar. So all these things that I'm doing is extra sugar and preservatives. You're going to have preservatives in canned lime juice and sugar, and same with pineapple juice. So let's shake. Remember, we got juice going in here. So we're going 30 seconds because we're going for texture and temperature. Okay. I'm not going to do the full 30 seconds because that would be an annoying podcast.
Look, 30 seconds means the juice
we're going straight into
why did you specify because it's
Collins
juice?
glass? So because in a previous episode we talked about the difference between stirring and shaking. If there's juice, you're almost always shaking. If it's all spirit, you're stirring. A martini is just, the vermouth and the gin or the vodka, you're stirring.
Mm-hmm.
A margarita is juice, you're shaking. Then, where'd my club soda go? Hold on. Where'd my club soda go?
He's already deep into it.
Maybe strength.
Behind the gin on the.
Thank you. Now, so let's review the ingredients here. Gin, so herbal, juniper. Benedictine, also herbal, but more like rosemary and grass. Cointreau, orange. Cherry liqueur. So what would you automatically think of for your garnish?
Pineapple.
This smells good.
Pineapple?
I'm going to go a little orange.
Okay.
And a couple cherries.
Dang.
Boom.
You know, honestly, I was like, let
And
me see this sucker.
we look very
It's so
tropical.
dark. I mean, it's got. I mean, for a gin drink, there's a lot of color in
Yeah.
there. You know, or is that your weird?
Yeah. So my Collins, yeah, these are my glasses. These are really old.
Sort
So
of,
it's just the glass is giving that
Collins
kind of
glasses from
tint.
actually my
Oh, but you
grandmother.
see the cherry in there. Wow.
Yeah. It's a blue glass. Ooh, that's yeah. I got the cherry at the bottom. You already
yeah, it's like translucent glass.
yeah, but it's a blue hue to it.
Uh-huh.
You already smell. I mean, the juniper
I've
should
never
come
thought to
screaming
have
through,
gin.
but so does the pineapple juice.
I've never thought to have
it's only an
gin
ounce of pineapple
with these
juice,
kinds of
but it's
flavors.
still
Like that to me is very. I mean, honestly, when I think of gin, I think of gin and tonic. Say uh-oh. He's like, well, how did I
this
get
is
through
awesome.
the next 3 episodes? You got slung.
Yeah.
Right.
You got slung.
This is awesome. This is really good.
I'm a little surprised. Because I think I used to go to the Tiki Tea in Los Angeles
Yeah.
for anyone that knows that place. I've been to Trader Vic's out there too, but I feel like the sling I would get at Tiki Tea, I think was a pinkish hue. They might have used punch or something.
They could have used
instead of pineapple or
grenadine.
something. I don't know.
They might have used grenadine as grenadine also has a component within a lot of tiki drinks. Here's another tip on that. I don't use grenadine, especially a store-bought bottle of grenadine. That's got a ton of sugar in it. I just use pomegranate juice, and I use it almost like bitters, where it's in a squirt bottle. We'll do it in a later episode. Pomegranate juice, fresh pomegranates are just it's just juice. That's it.
I gotta say,
we're getting enough sugar in all the other components.
Interesting thing thus far, and I know, like,
especially
you
pineapple
always
juice.
are thinking
I don't know how much,
but to get into these tropical drinks that are so sweet is you really want natural sugars. You cannot. That's where it seems to all go to hell in a handbasket. You know, is like anything out of a can. Or anything with that Malibu bottle, which is frightening. Although I remember, Crosby, you liked to drink that stuff back in the day. Yeah, you did. He was like, hey, who wants some of the boo?
What?
Yeah. I also, you'll notice in some of these episodes, I don't use spice rums at all.
I don't even,
yeah,
so
there's
no. You know what? My father-in-law
no
likes
spice
rum,
rums.
And he loves Mount Gay. That's his rum, and like he has it with like a little tonic and lime, like just the Uno, and that's it. I don't know if I'd qualify it as like let's go to Trader Vic's and have a 2-ingredient drink there.
So before we wrap this up, I want to touch on what you said about natural sugars versus all this extra stuff coming from your ingredients in a bottle. That was kind of the death of tiki culture in the 70s, or what led to its demise was that all of a sudden people just started fabricating all these extra, easily mixed drinks that had a lot of sugar. A ton of sugar, and they were not good for you. So you have a lot of alcohol, you have a lot of sugar, and a punch bowl size per person.
Is that when you go to those parties?
Trifecta for disaster. Yeah. So this is
or you'd have
roughly.
You'd go to those parties in the 70s, and you'd leave the car keys in. And then
go ahead. What were you about to say?
Bingo!
Drop the keys in there. Yeah.
That's why they did key parties.
In the bowl
probably.
after you drank it.
Yeah. There was a punch bowl size. Yeah. So this is roughly, let's think here, 1.5 ounces, 2-3 ounces plus the shaking. This is really with the club soda, maybe 5 ounces. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We didn't go.
Okay.
We're not going 14, 20 ounce size cocktails. You don't need to do that. Plus, We don't want it to. I want to finish this before it dilutes with the ice that's in the glass.
Right.
So, I mean, and the pineapple doesn't overwhelm this cocktail because it's not concentrate, it's real pineapple. So it was just a pineapple, a juicer juiced it. There was no concentrate, so it's not overwhelmingly pineapple-y and overwhelms the cocktail. That's the other thing. It's not so just the extra sugar. I feel like this is we're not using any concentrate.
What would one eat with this? And I think it's fair to point out that honestly, Trader Vic's was a made-up, fabricated cuisine. You're like, there's not. From what I understand, I don't think Polynesian food is nearly as flavorful as what they would have at Trader Vic's, at least back in the day or whatever. But what goes to your head? I mean, now that we're having this drink that's frankly taking advantage of like fresh juice, like show of hands here, who's had fresh pineapple juice? Never. When I eat a pineapple, you know what I mean? So that's cool. What goes to your head when you're thinking about what you should eat with this?
So you could do a lot of stews, pork stews, not because of, I'm not equating these drinks to a cuisine. I'm just thinking about what is easy. Mm-hmm. You're spending more money, like you mentioned. You're buying all these extra ingredients. You're going to have a lot of people over.
Okay.
So what's easiest to prepare for a larger group? Stews, any sort of, stewed meats, pork, really fried.
When you said
fried
stew,
pork.
I thought of
I think goes
Filipino
really well with
pork
these
adobo. I think something that
kebabs,
any dish that also has
meats.
like acidity and vinegar and anything with tamarind too. It's weird. I'm just going to say this: a vindaloo, lamb vindaloo. I think would be interesting with it too. And when I saw the pineapple, I think of al pastor tacos. You said Greer's always his answer. There's a 1 in 4 chance he's going to say pork, but I was going to say like a Cuban mojo style pork. So again, using that lime, garlic, orange kind of marinade into pork and stuff like that. And I feel like when I've had these tropical drinks, I remember being at a Cuban restaurant in Mexico and having like Cuban food, plantains, rice, beans, mahi, just kind of tropically foods with some sense of flavor. I think you can go something there, a little bit of kick, like Cuban, all the way to like lamb vindaloo, which is like, good Lord, super concentrated. I think the tamarind, something like that, strikes me as those strong fruit flavors like pineapple juice. Where would you find that kind of equal-ish tartness or zing in a slow cooked dish where the flavors really build? Good stuff.
Yeah. Or fish tacos.
All right.
Fish tacos, any sort of fish kebabs, any kebabs that you're grilling on meat and you're just winging out and throwing it on the plate and people are eating.
I think I might.
Lots of flavor.
I think I would add.
Flavor.
Well, this is a gin.
To match up, there's a lot of flavor in these drinks.
But this is cool. I will actually consider buying pineapple juice from the juicer. It actually sounds like that. That is the real commitment. And that crappy old cherry stuff. Amazing. Balance. Well done. Way to rein it in. To rein it in.
And the cherry liqueur. Nice, guys.
This is the Singapore Sling. So this is 100-year-old drink now. This is 1915. So 107 years old. So I think that's pretty cool.
It survived the Spanish flu.
Yep.
I wish we didn't have this delay. God damn it.
The delay is crushing.
Well, let's wrap this one up.
Yeah.
And let's wrap this one up, and we're going to be back with another tiki one. Thank you, Steve, for this Singapore Sling episode. Learned a lot. We'll see you soon.
Fantastic.